today's even more depressing topics, I guess.
Yeah.
No, it's mostly because of the autumn blues. I don't know.
Yeah. Fall.
Yeah. It's not that it's supposed to be depressing. It's just what ends up happening most of the time.
Yeah.
I'm hyping it up a lot, but not really. It's more just talking about what the fuck to do. Because as we
With
addressed,
Just a small question.
yeah, just a tiny one.
Yeah.
Most people figured that one out pretty early, right? Most people, I think, they got it all figured out by age 15. It seems no. So, yeah, you wanted me to start first
Yes, sir.
with my shitty ideas, and then you just shoot them down, which I
Yeah.
think is a good idea because
I mean, that's what if you talk to entrepreneurs and other Silicon Valley people and people from Y Combinator, the thing is you start pitching like no against it, right? Talk to some people about it. Then you will realize dog walking is not the business, dog sitting is the business. Yeah.
it is all shit. So yeah, in like a way to enact some of the tips that the book actually practices, because it is good and it's a shame.
So
if
what
we
is the
don't
book
use it.
about?
Okay, so Noah Kagan, $1 Million Weekend, I think it's called. It's a book about essentially finding ideas and topics to start a business and how to validate those topics, and then the initial steps into taking and progressing beyond like the starter to something else.
And also a business that's worth producing $1 million. Also.
Finding the idea and going from nothing to something. That's essentially what it goes to. It's not going to be $1 million weekend most likely, but you know, there's something.
No, but the $1 million actually, the term, at least while reading the book, since I'm a little bit far into the book, the thing is he was talking about the market size is at least $1 million. You see, so he came up with like a beef jerky idea that was $22 million idea. Before he came up with another idea, same beef jerky thing, B2C, door to door sales, like kind of stuff with his friends. It was so small business idea, not even $1 million, probably 100,000 or 250K or 650K. That means you will not be making $1 million with your company. So you have to make it bigger. So you did B2B like a venues and stuff where he can provide beef jerkies to for in a large wholesale.
Okay.
So he changed it to become a $1 million business. Then it became like a $20 to $25 million business on its own. So I mean, like one thing is whenever I get ideas, I have like experience of starting companies, failing a lot of times and still trying to figure out to come up with a proper product or a service to valuable customers at the right time, at the right moment, you know, with the
at a pricing that they want.
Yeah, it's a lot of moving parts. That's why you should. That's the biggest problem is the more people are ashamed or keeping it secret, the more they are gonna lose. That's what very counterintuitive stuff. Many people think, oh my god, idea gets stolen. Like, dude, no idea is good. If you are saying something and your idea gets stolen, that means once you come to market, everybody is gonna steal. It's not like something. Yeah.
So if it's easy to steal, that means
it's not worth it to proceed with the company.
That means that they're going to steal it.
Yeah.
Because you'll probably start off, and if it is a good idea, people will steal it from you at some point.
And what happens if it is an easy idea? Or it's a viable idea, okay? It's a very big business. So what happens if it's an easy idea? Do you know? It's something called, in business terms, it's called red ocean and blue ocean. Red ocean means 1 billion companies will be doing the same thing. For example, restaurant business.
Yeah.
Here alone, 10 to 15 Indian restaurants are there. Okay.
There's a lot,
In one city of Poland. So imagine, how many Polish restaurants are there? You see, like what I mean? Like it's a big competition. So many restaurants. It's a red ocean thing. What is a blue ocean thing? You always have to choose a blue ocean thing. That's what people try to do. What is the problem of red ocean? I said you have to share the pie with a lot of people.
Yeah.
The pie will be cut into more pieces. But in blue ocean thing, it will be hard to fucking find one customer. Because it's a niche. Let's say you are going to be a equine doctor only doing the teeth cleaning for horses.
Yeah.
He's not harsh doctor. It's fucking
You're only doing cleaning. But teeth cleaning is
it's
actually...
I mean, that's a lucrative thing. Maybe like tail trimming.
By the way, for people that don't know, at least for the clinics that I've worked on, teeth has been the biggest money maker.
Yeah.
For everyone.
Actually, you know, that already says, right? Maybe if you didn't create a veterinary clinic, maybe create a veterinary
dentistry. Yeah.
So simple.
But the reason that they make money is because you can take courses, so anyone can kind of start doing it. So it's a pretty cheap course, and it only takes an hour to an hour and a half, and you only need the veterinarian to sedate, nothing more. You only need a vet there to sedate, so if you had a dentistry, you would basically just have one guy to administer, I guess, and then just a bunch of nurses doing the actual procedure of cleaning teeth. Pulling, sometimes the nurse can do it, but usually it's the vet doing
mostly,
it. So, but if the nurse is experienced with it, she can't do it.
Now too. See, right? We both did not think about it. We were thinking about creating veterinary.
Yeah, like a joke.
Now we just started about it. Now dental veterinary thing is such a low risk thing. You know? It's a serious thing. Who is doing? Nobody. Every clinic does.
And the demand is extreme.
Yeah.
Because it has to be done several times a year. Because most people, because it kind of appeals to the laziness of most people. Most people don't clean their dog's teeth because they haven't trained their dog to be
to stay quiet while they do it.
Which, I mean, the way to train that, because my brother did it accidentally. His dog is fully accepting of like holding itself upside down, being held by the paws, like staring it around, and being held in the mouth and bothering it and touching its face without moving.
Okay, right and from there when they are small, right?
Yeah, and the way that he got that is just doing that from the start. You just have to instantly, as soon as it's a puppy, before it even opens its eyes almost, you have to start bothering it all the time, touching its gums, everything. Yeah. So that's just how they do that. But either way,
so we made the point clear. So the more we talk, we ourselves are getting clarity of what to do, at least in veterinary space. But now Christian said he will pitch me an idea. Probably he will do it or he will never do it. He just wants to pitch a sample idea.
It's a bunch of like ideas, I guess. Yeah. And they're all centered around language to some idea, because one of the things that he talked about in the $1 million weekend is that you should probably choose something that you're already familiar with and have some skill in. And language has always been something that I've got some skill in. So to begin with, right, what can you start with? I mean, basic supplies is a decent idea. Because certain things because I've always done well in language courses. Like I've had French.
From whatever you talked right so far, I did not understand what is the product or a service.
Yeah, I'll get to it. So I've always done well in language courses, and the reason is because I've always started with certain things. So I've had French and then Spanish and then also Polish now, and then English, of course, and then my native language, I guess. I'm not proficient in any of them, but I did well on the tests.
Yeah,
right?
You don't have to, right?
Yeah.
That's the most of the things you use 90% of the time. That if you know that, that's more than enough. Yeah. You don't need to have an academic certificate.
Yeah. Right? So I just did well in the tests. I got maxed out grades for that subject all the time for every language subject. It's always gone well. So that's something I chose because of that fact. Because I know most people don't have that as the automatic thing.
Seeing one buddy.
Exactly.
I am from India and I don't know Hindi. I have to talk to every other Indian in English.
Yeah, they're equally disappointed every time when you come up to the country. English, please.
Dude, that day I went to the restaurant with my girlfriend, right? Yeah. He's saying something in Hindi. I was like, no, I don't know. I'm so sorry, man. I don't know what you're saying.
What the fuck do I do?
Okay.
So since it's languages, I just thought, well, what's a feasible thing to start with? It's either tutoring, but I'm not at that level yet in either of the languages.
What are the languages?
It's either French, Spanish,
Polish,
English, and then Norwegian, of course.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And so these.
Because you said my girlfriend teaches French.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So
basically,
that
go
just
ahead.
shows because you can start off with this initially teaching yourself because it's a free thing that only requires your own time, and then eventually
And interest basically.
yeah, and
which you have,
and a lot of people when it comes to the way I looked this up, when it comes to teaching or hiring teachers,
Mm-hmm.
at least the way I understood it is that you only have to pay more than they are willing to be paid for their own thing, for their own hourly wage.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the time.
So okay, 1 minute.
Yeah.
Before.
Okay, we'll just state directly what the idea is.
Something else.
Yeah.
What we'll do from here onwards is you see me there, I see you there.
Okay.
That's all.
Yeah, so we can get the camera on directly.
Yeah, because the camera is a poor thing there. We both are seeing down at each other, picking up the frame, we are looking at everywhere else. Okay. You look at me there.
Okay, so just to get the concrete idea out there, it's basically just a cheaper tutoring for certain topics, which could be Spanish and English and French, because those are the things I have experience with somewhat.
So.
And then the other more like consumerism thing was just to sell flashcards. Like some basic stuff like that.
With respect to language?
With respect to language, because you always have to start the same. You have to learn 100 verbs-ish, like somewhat. You always have to start the same. Like the sequence is the same, and it's typically just drilling it hard in your head almost, unless it's a similar language.
Okay. So, that's a very good pitch, right? For a first idea. Whatever a founder, however somebody pitches, comes up with an idea to start a business, first of all, some people do the big mistake of going into something that they do not know. For example, initially we both thought we could start a veterinary clinic. I don't think we have enough experience to do that.
Zero experience.
Yeah. So at least without a couple of years of working as a vet and seeing how a clinic should operate.
Not only working as a vet, but also getting some administrative tasks.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's exactly the book that I recommended to him, E-Myth Revisited by Michael E. Graeber says. You like to make...
Try to show it first, because it wasn't very clear what you said.
Yeah, I can...
Try to show it, in case people are interested, for the veterinary students in the class. We searched Freddy Krueger because there was a Halloween.
Yeah.
As you can see, he's an avid reader. Listener.
Yeah.
That's true.
So this is the book. It's a very, very good book. I mean, as we have said in previous episodes, the thing is, rookie mistake, we did not share the screen. Okay. Oh. So good, they did not see it. Okay. So this is what you guys we were talking about. E-Myth Revisited, why most veterinary practices don't work and what to do about it. So this is the book that we are talking about. But yeah, so the thing is...
Yeah, we wanted to initially start clinics, and then we realized we don't have the experience, and there's certain books that kind of validate that.
Let's say, what will you become after you graduate? You become a veterinarian.
Yeah.
So when you start a business, like a veterinary clinic, what does all you have to? Logistics, supply, fucking regulations, rules, law, and...
Setting up a local network of people you know.
Yeah. It's like a lot of things other than just being a doctor that you have to do, which you have to make peace with or outsource it, you know. Yeah. You don't have to do it, you have to pay somebody to do it, and that's where then how to hire, how to fire, is the person working right for money or pay. Like the most hardest thing to hire a quality candidate and keep him.
And not only that, but you're also, right now, that's just generally business, right? We didn't consider that it was a vet clinic, which, as we remember, the statistics on that was... training. Yeah. No, the statistics on that was that for every 10 vacant jobs, there's a single applicant, at least in the UK. So that's...
I'm going to bind here until we get to the habit of we both look at each other there. Yeah, okay.
Which means that not only are you dealing with the problem of having to figure out if the person is right for the job and to keep him or not, and trying to keep him, which is difficult enough in a profession to begin with, but you're also doing it for veterinary medicine, which is exceptionally difficult to do because there's so few people. to hire in the first place, which means the clinic is naturally way more difficult.
Okay, now coming back to your idea, right? So whatever you said, okay, now my question is it a product or a service?
The first thing is just a product, and the second thing is a service. Remember,
which is the flashcards
first thing, yeah, obviously.
Okay, first of all, this is another thing most founders make a mistake of. You choose one product or service and you focus on it, and then you diversify it. If you are teaching language Spanish, your goal is to become a teacher, or you do an online app or something. Don't do that one thing and this one thing. Either you can do any one. You cannot do both things because both are completely different. It could be related. It could be part of the course. It doesn't have to be a separate entity on its own. Why the fuck flashcards has to be a separate product when it could be part and parcel of the Spanish course?
Yeah, so that could be a part of an offer that you make. Because the reason I looked into this because I found an app that does something very similar. It's called Preply. I do. Yeah. I kind of recommend it. Yeah. But what you'll notice is that each individual teacher is responsible for setting their own price.
Yeah.
So all you have to do is pay them that price slightly above, and you'll have a teacher. So, and it's not a lot of money. That was $10 for an hour.
So that's exactly why she's getting paid as well.
Yeah.
For one session, which is 1 hour. Yeah. So 50 zloty, right? That's more than 10 actually told.
Yeah.
But the thing is, So question is, okay, you said it's choose one, right? From what I understand, it makes sense to say it's a language teaching.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thing.
Okay. You said it's a service, right? First one is.
Yeah.
It's a service or a product. Are you sure it's a product or a service?
I'm sure it's a service, the first thing.
Okay, that means...
Teachers.
Okay, how is the service going to be provided? In person or online?
It has to be online.
If it is online, what you need?
A platform.
Yeah, a platform or an application, app, right?
Yeah.
So what is your business here? Building an app. Language is something... You could do in a YouTube live stream, like you could do in a Google Meet, right? You could do. That's not a problem. Teaching language, now your what is your biggest expense is gonna be? Building an app or a website or both, obviously.
Yeah, the web design thing. If it's on a website, it's a lot easier because a website isn't a whole lot more than just kind of. So anyone can make. There's a bunch of free web makers. We need to look here again.
Shit, okay.
There's a bunch of free web makers, right? Make a website. I forget. Make a website. That's finding one of those is not particularly difficult.
Yeah, sure.
And designing something that looks approachable. So through a website, it can be easier, if that makes sense. And so what you can do then is use apps like Zoom, not an app. So you don't use an app to host the call. You use another thing like Zoom. And then you take the tiniest part of that money yourself. That's why I say...
No. Before going to that. So what are we designing? Website or app?
Website initially.
Okay, almost 99% of people, I assume, owns a smartphone, right?
Yeah.
So will they be comfortable? Let's say, who is your age group, target audience?
Mostly low-cost people, so that means students.
Biggest losers of all. Okay, so they are poor. Do you think a student prefers a web platform which could only be accessed through a tablet or a PC, or they prefer a phone?
They definitely prefer a phone because, and the reason I know they prefer a phone is because look at the number one learning applications.
Yeah, that's where I'm going next.
It's Duolingo.
Yeah, that's why. I mean, I'll come to the competitors part. That's where I'm gonna destroy it. But it's okay. But it's okay. But it's a good start. We are going in the right direction. So, why would you choose a number 2 platform when there's a number 1 platform which most teenagers are addicted to? It's part of their body at this point. If their phone is missing, they fucking lose their shit. Why do you want to go to the second place?
The reason you go to the second place is because developing an app is expensive. That's the only reason.
Okay, so since I'm a programmer, since I know something about it, since both of our previous startups are based on website and phone applications.
You had an application?
Yeah.
Oh.
So the thing is, it is not. What do you think is the difference? Okay, maybe you won't know, right? That's so you do know. Do you know or do you know?
What is the question?
What
exactly?
Is the difference between a website and phone app creation? What is the technological or code-wise difference actually?
The operating system, I guess.
Yeah, obviously it runs Android or iOS. There it runs Mac OS or Windows. But from the programming full stack perspective, the amount of code that required to change a web application to a phone is 10 lines probably. So nowadays people are developing apps, they write code once, which could be used just for phone, for iOS, for Android, for Linux, for anything. Okay? So we broke one myth. That's why you have to talk to domain experts. In this case, I know something about like the building an app and stuff, because that's what we do a lot. Because whatever AI code I write, I cannot give the back end code to anybody, because I have to package it in a wrapper, an app, and then understand and give it to people. So that's not a big deal. Okay, so your problem, your assumption, that's the first assumption that you made, right? That websites are easy, this is harder. You know why websites are easy? Because you research a lot, and we discussed before.
It's because we made like websites in high school.
Okay. Nowadays phone apps are that easy, much easy though. I'm making an app for memory training for myself, like literally. I don't even write apps.
Oh, is it the card thing?
Yeah, card thing, and then the numbers thing, all those things. So anybody can do. It's not hard at all these days. It's becoming so easy. So but still, to have a good app, you will be spending a lot of money. Like Facebook, Spotify, all these companies, entire income. Instagram comes from app. So basically, the app is the crux of it. In your case also, that's the same. Okay, now we both agreed to choose the number one platform. Okay, you chose the number one platform, which is predominantly smartphone, and it can also be run in a PC. Done. Okay, now tell me about the competitor research. What did you do? Who are your competitors? You just showed me your competitor. Okay,
one of them.
So you first talk about the competitor, and what will be my next question I will say now itself. How are you uniquely positioning yourself so that you are better than these people, or whatever these people are lacking? Go.
This is a grilling thing. Okay. So the first one that I showed is called Preply. It's a tiny it kind of looks like this. You just choose your teacher, and then you have a price for that teacher, and the teacher sets the price for the most part. And it's always a 1 hour session, and the prices can range anywhere from $10 to $40 an hour.
Sure.
Depending on the teacher and depending on their experience. If they're like just a native born and they just speak English, or if they're a professional language teacher and they know 3 other languages, they can demand mostly more. The problem is that they kind of demand their own prices, so and it's within a range, so they can't really decide anything more than that. And it's a one-on-one session, which is more personal. But I think the problems with being more personal, not that I have more experience with it, but I think there's a reason things are in classrooms. It becomes more monetizable, and you can talk with people that are of similar experience. You see what I mean?
So you mean like an online classroom?
Not a classroom, not a large one, like 3 people maybe.
Okay, or something like very short and small.
And the reason is because the reason you do those kind of things is because then you have people of similar goals and learn. Also expertise, because you can just rank them, because that's something they did very nicely in the beginning. They kind of ask for your fluency. If it's beginner, somewhat started,
so they put you in that batch.
They put you in the batch.
Okay.
But they don't allow you to communicate with anyone else in that batch. So you don't interact with any other students, you only interact with the teachers. So it's only for the teacher to know, not other people.
Is it not breaking the entire point of it? Like, if you cannot talk to your peer, is it not weird? It's just...
I think that's one of the problems. I think it's mostly because it seems like this is a very simple contract that they just kind of send them a message, say that they're an English speaker or something, and then they set their own prices. It's very much dominated by the teacher. The teacher just kind of
okay, their decision. Okay.
They're the
and
initiative.
Also there's a lot of liability and risk.
This is just a platform, kind of like Uber. It's like the Uber driver takes on all the work responsibility, not setting their own prices. If Uber did that too, that would be closer to this.
Yeah, but I understand. Okay, so I think like why this app might have done it because liability. You know, like let's say they like people are weird, right? Like you just let weird. People start talking, they start.
Yeah, it's gonna become a pedophile ring anytime soon. Yeah, very quickly, and we're not looking into the camera.
Yeah, safety risk, security risk, privacy and stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
So do we need the classroom thing? Small? No. One-on-one makes sense, right?
One-on-one makes sense, but the reason a classroom makes a little bit more sense, at least a small one, is because then you can charge lower prices but still pay everyone.
Ah, okay. So is it already been done there?
No.
Okay, so that's your pitch.
It's part of it, right?
Ah, okay, yeah, I understand. Okay, that's your unique values,
It's one of them, at least that I can think of right now, right?
Okay, tell me this is the number one unique selling point?
Maybe.
I mean, I would personally say.
There's another one actually, which is a topic that I saw that a multilinguist or called Steve Kaufman. I can find him here. He's. Oh God.
Steve Kaufman.
This man, he's a polyglot, right? A very famous Canadian one. Because the reason he's famous is because 1, he knows a lot of languages, 2, he has a YouTube channel, and 3, he started learning very late, kind of. He started always kind of knowing a lot of languages, but at like 70 he started a bunch more. So he did late. Like 60s he started learning another language. So that's kind of his claim to fame. He knows a fair amount. He's on like lists in Wikipedia. If you search polyglots of the world, he's on there.
Okay.
The reason I mention him is because he does he has his own language learning app, which is called Link is the name.
Yeah, go ahead.
And the Link app it's extremely good, but that's besides the point. He has his own app, but also, or at least he's associated with it. But he also has a lot of tips on how to learn things. And the things he finds difficult to do, it seems, is to find a teacher that is interested in the same things as him. So, because the most important thing about language is, like most things, it's consistency. That's the main issue. The issue is consistency with everything. Training, if you don't train consistently, it doesn't matter how hard you train.
So how are you going to maintain consistency?
Because if you find somebody that you like talking to, besides the point that they also teach you a language, so they have similar interests, and therefore you talk to them because you're interested in the same things.
But due to safety reasons, we are not going to let that happen, right?
What do you mean?
That peers to talk each other.
No. Okay, so here's, in case it was confusing. You're more likely to talk to a person that you have similar interests in, right? You have similar interests, therefore you're more likely to talk to a person and enjoy the conversation more, which means you're more likely to do it again, right? That makes sense?
So if here the person is the teacher?
Yeah, the person is the teacher. So you have a similar interest and you have a topic you want to talk about, you're more likely to do the topic again. So the thing is that you can add on top of this is not only doing your own, like they did on Preply, where they give you the your range of proficiency, but you also are forced to talk to your teacher in a language, or in the language you're learning, about a topic you both like. Because the reason is, 1, you get to talk to somebody in a language, right? That makes sense?
Now the question is, I just want to clarify this, okay? We are not going to do peer-to-peer communication, right?
What do you mean peer-to-peer?
Like a three-member classroom, the 3 students, can they talk to each other?
Potentially, yeah.
Potentially, okay. That's your unique way, sir. Because if you said no, they are already doing it. Why are you doing it is my question, right? But if you say yes, okay, that's the unique thing. But you have the legal challenges also, like how to manage them and stuff.
Yeah.
Because it is going to be really wild people. I don't know, like Just to imagine.
Yeah, there's a lot of
yeah. So that's one
insanity.
thing. Okay.
But the point is, right, so you have a teacher and the teacher fills out the same forms and like writes topics that are similar to a main topic, and then it pairs you up with a teacher that are interested in the same things, fixing the consistency problem a little bit better, at least, than a normal teacher. Because a normal teacher will just teach you the language and fuck off, right? But a teacher that's passionate about the same things you are.
Yeah, but what are the odds? So have you did any validation? Let's say I'm interested in ants, okay, and I wanted to learn Norwegian.
Yeah, interested in ants. Okay, if you're interested in ants, I think you have a problem conversing with anyone.
Yeah. Right? So that's how people are, right? They are so weird. Like, let's say I'm interested in drums, okay, and I wanted to learn Norwegian. What are the odds that I know find a Norwegian teacher who likes drums and who is willing to teach me? The thing is, now what are you doing? You are deviating from your core point of learning a language, right? You are learning a language is something, okay, fine, I go to my teacher, she teaches me grammar, she teaches me how to talk. That's a very powerful thing. But why let it be the things that the kid likes? That's fine. The student likes, maybe he can talk about it, but the teacher doesn't have to be passionate about it. Let's say I talk about plants, the teacher doesn't give a fuck. Let it be.
Just let yourself rant about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just for the sake of success when it comes to language learning. I've seen that the people that interact with teachers that they enjoy talking to.
So the teacher should be likable.
Likable, but also you can keep the topics very vague. It can be history. It can be natural science.
Sure.
It doesn't have to be ants, right?
So who should decide the thing? The teacher, not the
teacher.
Student. If you give it to the student, one is interested in dinosaurs. Right?
Yeah, exactly. So you pair them with a teacher. Say the teacher chooses, I like history, and I know a lot about history. I just like talking about, or I like music, or I like music artists, right? And then the student does the same survey, and then he writes, I like music artists. Boom, they get paired up, and then you have price ranges. But that's the thing. You can have a price range, or you can have subscription. I'm not sure which one's better, actually.
Okay, so pricing is something you have to figure it out, right? Okay, so the question is, okay, you have addressed so many things, okay? It's a language learning course where you are meeting it's a human being, not a robot. So I'm talking to a real expert, I assume. And then I also have some peers that I can relate myself to, and we have the similar goals. So it's all positive points. And the one strong unique value point he said is you understand your market, that you are children and the students and they don't have enough money. So in order to help them pay less, you are gonna join more students to make the payment even out. Okay, so that's a very good idea. So my question is, what makes the teacher want to choose your platform over that platform where she has to deal with one person?
This is because, right, the prices are very manageable. It's 30. I'm just gonna read a couple of them. Just
manageable is a very subjective thing, but sure.
Yeah, they're $16, $10, $16, $13, $25, $17 for an hour. This is just me ranting them off. One was $41, but he's special.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the reason that it would be slightly better is that if you have 3 people in a group that talks to one teacher, if the teacher gets twice as much pay, they're more likely to choose that. Per hour, they get twice as much. They only have to deal with 3 more people, and that's it. Like, it's because most of these people live in Spain. They get paid Spanish wages, if you see what I mean, for Spanish, and then French wages for French people. So that means that you only have to better their wages in their own country, if you see what I mean, because they all set their own pricing, probably because it's probably a whole lot higher than what it is generally, because they do international market and they set their own prices, right? So they said it's decently high. Why else would they go here and stuff, not just being a normal teacher, right?
Okay.
So by paying them more, because you have more money to leverage, because you get paid more per session, even though it's more people per session, you're able to pay them a higher wage per hour than they do on Preply. because the Preply, everyone. It's just a platform, like Craigslist essentially, and they said everything themselves. They steer everything themselves. You see?
Okay, so yeah, so now my question is, what are the other competitors that are out there other than
probably a lot more?
Yeah, which is something we have to do, right?
This is why a little pro tip actually. The only reason I know Preply is because of ads. So I recommend actually turning on favorite ads like cookies.
Okay.
So you get these ads yourself.
Wow, I'll be surprised to see a European talk about these things. Okay, okay.
Because then you can see why were you attracted to that app. Okay, there's a bunch of AI language learning apps, and the reason they're completely unattractive to me is because I'm just talking to a robot. I know it's not gonna understand what I'm saying most of the time. Probably it's gonna be a hassle just to talk to it. Yes, it's cheap, but I'd much rather pay a little bit higher
for a human.
For a human,
it is better experience. Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah. So the question is, okay, okay. So the teachers get paid more because of having more students and students are there. How will you make money?
How will I make money? Okay, so there is still. That's why I kind of talked about. That's why kind of doing veterinary medicine is somewhat still an okay idea to me.
Why is that?
Because you can still earn enough money to live.
Okay, so you don't have to freaking depend on the company.
Yeah, you don't have to depend initially. And then eventually you'll take like a very generous cut, like 1% or something, which is not a lot. 5%, 10%, something like that. It's small amounts, so probably around 10%.
Of what?
Of the total session of 3 people pay for 1 person, and you take 10% of that. So you basically add.
Okay, that cut. Okay, yeah. Okay. I was thinking like Shark Tank is the company's percentage or what? Because you are the founder.
No. I take 10% from me. I should have the money.
God, okay, fine, yeah.
Yeah. So you eventually when you have enough people, you earn enough things yourself. So or the company earns enough. Like the company takes 10%, say, or something, and then or even less, depends on how many people use it. The more people use it, the more you can.
Yeah, that money will go up. Yeah, sure.
So the company earns enough money, and then you take a cut of that, enough to live. Right, the freedom number. Has he talked about that yet for you? In the.
Yeah.
Okay, so the freedom number, I think we might have explained it, but we'll do it again anyway. The freedom number is just how much you spend a month that you would be comfortable living with. So like your monthly wages that you're comfortable living with.
It's like $1,000, $2,000, $3,000.
Yeah. So you still do what you want and you don't want to die afterwards. Or it could be like ultimate power saving mode and you just do, I don't know, 500.
Yeah, okay. So now my question is, with the positives is a very great idea. Language learning thing suddenly is in a renaissance period where it's getting very popular.
Yeah, and the market is huge and it's going to be bigger, right? Yeah, it's a growing market as well.
It's a growing market, okay? That is why, what is the biggest problem? It becomes a red ocean issue where so many players come in. And this is the market where already so many players are there, okay? For example, Duolingo has at least a minimum 1 million people using the app every freaking day for years, okay? So, okay, now my thing, okay? How would you scale it is a big thing, okay? One big scary thing here is the important red flag thing is, before pursuing this idea or not, here what is the biggest red flag here is the competitors, right? So you have to do an extensive research, at least in the next podcast or something. Let me know what is the how many people. Once you start seeing in Norway only probably 5 people to 10 people are doing, Sweden 10 people are doing, Europe hundreds of people are doing, and then there are 5 to 10 mega giants who are doing it, okay? So now you just to be devil's advocate, just to make it worse, that Preply is there, right? Preply does everything what you said you are doing. Only thing that they are not doing is adding 2 more students to every class. It's exactly your thing. So is it not an idea that is easily changeable like this? And what if you tell the teachers that okay, you can make more money if you add 2 more students to your class with the existing 3? Boom, done. And also your idea of using three people or more, minimum three people class, maximum three people size thing has the legal issues that we just talked about, or we don't even want to go into it. It's a lot of mess of controlling different unique people from different parts of the world. You let random people talk. That's a big thing, like a big so that cannot be just brushed aside, because that will make your life miserable, because every single student can, they file a lawsuit, the company will go down instantly. Down. So risk wise it's more. And you said about the teachers, right, hiring teachers. So these platforms that are like Preply, Memrise, Duolingo, all these people who are having these teachers, they already have a strong base. A very experienced teacher is there, okay, she has 100 kids in every app, sorry. So why will she move to your app even though it's going to pay them more, so for a new thing? So that's my
because
question.
They don't have to move over completely. It's just another app that they add. It's like having Uber and Bolt, you see?
Okay, so now we have to validate that idea of talking to some of these teachers. How many people are using multiple apps? Because maintaining one app only might be harder. We don't know. I'm also guessing, you are also, we don't know yet. Once again, right, it's like veterinary medicine. We don't know how a veterinary clinic operates. We don't know what the teachers are doing. Are they running multiple apps? How will their schedule look like? It will be miserable. Let's say if they use Preply, they make good money, probably they will try to maximize their Preply. What it will do, Preply will advertise these biggest teachers anyways. So it's going to increase it's going to, what it will do, what else will be the biggest issue? I was participating in a 3D event competition, right? I'm in a 3D printing competition. I have to design a 3D product. I designed something for Halloween, okay? I applied to 2-3 different contests. I got rejected from one of the biggest contests, saying that I cannot compete with another in the same thing in another contest. I cannot use the same model for another contest. So there will be already class. A teacher having 100 students will be prevented from moving or having multiple accounts. That's something you and me won't know, but the teacher with the company might know those things. It's a very real possibility.
So what you're saying is that, say that somebody takes the Preply, they work for Preply, and then I offer them the thing, and they take the thing, and now all of a sudden they're not allowed into Preply anymore.
Or they cannot legally take anything other than that.
Yeah.
You see a problem, that could be a thing. But especially for the most successful ones. So that's something, a red flag. The first red thing is do more research about your competitors and how are you uniquely placing yourself. I will tell you, or I can get from, I know a lot about Duolingo. I am myself used to it. The thing is, Duolingo cuts the risk by 1 billion times compared to any of these apps. Preply will never become Duolingo or as successful as Duolingo because, see, Duolingo has no faces, no teacher, nothing.
It still works.
So it has a mascot, and they somehow found the way of gamifying it, gamifying it, and you are getting attracted to that game of going back to the app every day, 5 minutes checking it. Don't you see, in this distracted world, going to 5 minutes and doing this app is much more doable than a 1 hour class? How are you gonna scale it? How will you be the next Duolingo? Even though you say, right, your method is better. A real human person, real expert. It's not a dumb robot. It should teach you better. You will retain better. You will have a better experience because you also have peers. Why will Duolingo still succeed, and why will you, or how will you be or beat Duolingo? This is my
how
question.
To beat Duolingo. Okay, so first we gotta search Duolingo.
Or how to scale like Duolingo.
No, yeah, I see what you mean. Because why is it popular? It's because it's very low effort.
Yeah.
You log in almost and you get the daily streak. Most people just want to maintain their streak. Let's be realistic.
Exactly. Because they completely offloaded the idea that they are learning a language. I want to play this game to keep the streak going.
It's mostly a game. I'll take a little anecdote.
I forgot that I was learning Polish. I did 100 days. I hate every language.
Because, so the problem with Duolingo is it's a fun thing to do, but it doesn't work when it comes to learning a language completely. You see what I mean? It's a nice thing to get to familiarize yourself with basic catchphrases and things like that, it will never teach you fluency.
That's, yeah, but okay, so
that's fine. It's fine that it doesn't do that because it is the number one app. But
I think that's a big hypothesis of yours that is
no.
The
here's a validation of that hypothesis, which is one of our co-students, one of our peers, has a person that they know that has maxed out German and has a streak of over 1,000 days and so on. So they've maxed out the entire course, and they have a streak of infinite days, however many days, and they still don't speak a word of German because they haven't taken the next step. They've only learned like catchphrases and maybe the grammar somewhat.
Yeah, the like formal rules.
So that means that if you follow the entire course to a T, and only that, it will not be enough. It won't even be close to enough, right? But if you follow properly, it's impossible not to become fluent because you'll be talking to a Spanish person every, say, if you do it every week.
That's a valid point though.
And that's...
But that means what happened is
and that's
you
a
reduced
validation
that you reduced your market size by from 1,000 to 5 people probably.
Yeah.
The reason is you will cater to a serious language learning audience, right? So a serious language learning audience who pays like $10 or $15, let's say, would want a one-on-one session rather than 3-on-1.
Yeah.
If he is a serious person, serious language learner, he for sure has the money to pay for a one-on-one session in preppy than a 3-on-1 in your thing. Why will you choose yours?
Okay, because remember how the 3-person thing brought the higher prices to the teacher? It will also bring the lower prices for each individual student.
Yeah, but a serious language learner doesn't care about
the money. He does not care. But he cares somewhat, right? Because that's just an hour, right? But someone like Hoffman will never do it, right? That's the problem. But there's the second thing, right? Because that's something that he always complained about. That's and he's as serious as a language learner gets. He struggles with finding people with similar interests. He complains, I find teachers, but I don't like talking to them.
That's exactly the thing. So your problem that you want to solve is very different. See, you are good in language, okay? But from talking to you, what I understand is you are taking a niche into a language. You wanted to talk about something you like and also assume that the person also likes that. That is a more harder problem to crack, right? Or if you are trying to solve that, how are you solving that? Can you tell me? Because let's say I am interested in ants. You cannot say no to me. I am interested in plants. If the fucking teacher is into animals, I cannot find 100 knowledge in teachers. How will we solve that? How are you solving it, right?
How to solve like 100 teachers if you have a niche topic that you like. I think the better option is to have a general topic to start off with, and then you go through teachers. If you don't like it, you go to the next one, and then you find a teacher.
So that means I am trying to find.
You make it easier, but not specific.
So I am forced to choose a suboptimal route here. I am not talking to a teacher who likes ants or plants. I have to talk to a teacher who does not love animals like the way that previous teacher did. You see what I mean? So let's not talk. I think then we shouldn't be stressing too much about the interest part because that's unsolvable, you know. It's like saying like I want to go to vet school, I'm only interested in alpaca, like one of our friends. So it's like that means like you have to learn the entire veterinary medicine. Basically in this case learn a language. The point is what? He's a serious language learner. He wants a one-on-one or a similar experience for a cheaper price. He should care about learning a language.
Yeah.
If you want to learn salsa and Spanish, fucking go to a salsa class. You don't do Spanish language class to talk to a person who's also a salsa interested person. Why would you do that? That's like it's like, you know what else can do that? You know who can solve these both problems? Yeah. You can create a AI that is an expert in salsa and teach you Spanish. That will be, and no liability. It's AI one-on-one unlimited
yeah,
time.
but the problem with AI, the problem that AI will always have, is that people like talking to people, and then eventually it'll link up or something.
If that is true, ChatGPT won't have got 100 million users in 2 months.
Because it's got a utility as well, right? It's mostly due to the utility. It's not because people like talking to a robot. It's because they want to get the utility from the robot.
That's exactly what is a language. Language is a utility or a tool.
Yeah.
Why do I fucking have to fall in love with the teacher who I'm talking to, right? Like, for example, I hated the Polish teacher means I would have not studied. Like, I know liking a teacher plays a very important part, but that happens in in-person traditional institutions, not in an online thing. Online thing, like you say, I can switch. Say, the person can go to prep lead, right? Like, I can switch different teachers. Why does it matter, right? You are also doing the same thing as prep lead does. You can switch teachers if you don't like it. Go for 1 hour, pay $10. If you like the teacher, do it. If not, go to the next person.
What you can always do is have multiple options, because the reason we did the 3-student thing was to decrease pricing, right? So that could be for the person that doesn't have enough money. For the professional, he could do the expensive teacher that's super available.
So they are not your market.
I mean, it could be.
No, it could be, but they won't choose you. That's what I'm trying to say, like in a polite way. The thing is, you are not addressing them. You are addressing the broke people who still wants to learn Spanish.
Yeah, and struggle with it, yeah. I want some, like a semi...
And still they wanted an in-person experience, but still they don't want a 40-member class, but something reasonable like 3 people.
Yeah, something in the middle.
So yeah, so it's like some, not a serious learner, not the extreme spectrum, not the other spectrum, which is better because most people fall in that category. If you see the curve, who is the majority of the curve, like these people, most people broke, who don't want a 40-member class, who thinks one-on-one is too expensive, for them it will be the best thing, which is fine.
Okay.
Yeah, but how are we, like another question was, how are you standing unique, right? Whatever unique value proposition you say, I personally kind of agree whatever you are saying, but I also believe the unique value proposition that you give is easily replicatable.
Yeah.
How are you gonna hold up, and how are you gonna scale is another issue, right? Scale is like 100 kids are there for a teacher in Preply or somewhere else in every other place. Why will those teachers come? That's something we have to validate. I'm repeating myself, but and also if you see the number of competitors, automatically there will be some people who's already doing your thing, is what I will say.
Yeah. So
if you thought about it, like that's the most humble thing in entrepreneurship. If you thought about it, not that you are the first guy. Probably somebody has done it already. You just have to find that quacker. If they are successful, why they are successful. If they fucking went bankrupt, you probably have to learn why they went bankrupt. Probably not touch that idea. So, my biggest thing here is do the homework of trying to find like who are, like how many competitors are there. How am I going to uniquely position myself? Okay. So it is very constructive, right? I mean, like, we reflected. That's exactly what I do. My friend says about so many ideas, we both fucking shoot each other.
It's awesome though.
And one more question. One more thing you need to add here is, how much money you want?
How much money do I want?
For investment.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. So that was...
What do you want? Why are you pitching? That's the thing.
Why am I... like... at the end of it, or do you mean?
No, I'm asking like.
Oh, for like an investor kind of thing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Why are you even pitching?
Fucking.
If you have money, probably you would have done it already. It's probably in App Store. Why are we talking about it? It's probably going to be some angel investor, venture capitalist, or some fucking accelerator, incubator, blah blah blah. Okay. What will you say them?
Okay, so. Most of the time, this is what I mean, because the reason I kind of pursue these things is because I like languages myself, right? So I just want to learn more of them, right? Spanish particularly is one that I want to try and get a little bit more serious in. So that's how you start it off. You do it yourself kind of thing. So that's why it becomes approachable, because it only needs your time and that's it.
Yeah, but
so
now I'm asking how much money you want, like what will you say to the investor?
I have not thought of that.
Yeah.
Because
So that's something you have to work on. You said pricing you have to decide, which is fine. I mean, these are early ideas. You are very early stage. It's all something you should think about. First, how much investment you want? Why do you want that money? What are you gonna do with that money?
Because the reason and the way that I can ask for a sum is to know how much it would cost. I think is the better way to do it.
And one more shitty question I'll ask. Okay. Why are you the person to have this company? Why do you think you will be successful? Why do you think you should have this company?
Okay.
Because you are neither a teacher.
I'm not.
You are neither. You know what is this business actually? Not app. App is half of the business. What is the other half? You know, advertising and marketing.
Yeah, it's marketing and services.
Yeah. Are we an expert in that? Are we having strength in that? At the moment, not. So...
it's just such a... At the moment, not so much. But moving on, yeah.
So, your entire teaching and another thing is what? Advertising, marketing, sales, getting teachers in, getting students in. That's a... You basically have to start a marketing and advertising company basically that builds apps also, high quality apps, because people hate when apps break, and apps break all the time. Is Spotify app done? No. Facebook app done? No. They are billion-dollar companies here. They will constantly be getting updated and upgraded. Your money will be bleeding like fucking water.
Yeah, that's why I'm scared of apps.
Yeah. With the website also same thing, buddy. Website is even more harder because the thing is load times. For better load times, you have to pay more.
Yeah,
search engine optimization.
The Zoom meeting going according to plan. Does everyone have a nice internet connection?
And another thing is, I said, right, how are you going to make money, right? Probably these better companies, these bigger companies that are out there will take less cut than what you were saying. 5 or 10% you said, right? That number is something you made up. That is not what the entire world is. So bigger company like Duolingo, maybe please bigger, probably they'll take 1%. Why will they come to you is another question. So you have to do research on why do you think you deserve 10% on the
because and the reason you're saying that is because there's multiple things you want to solve with it. You want to be able to monetize to run a business, right? But you also want to monetize as low as possible so that they keep...
That's your goal. Not, you know, who cares?
No.
Yeah, who cares about that? The investor who's paying. He doesn't give a fuck about your service or passion. He wants, I put $1 million, when will I get my 1 million back? Or with interest, with all the profits. How soon can I get it? Once you touch the money from him, you are a slave.
Yeah, that's the problem with investors.
Without that, nobody is willing to share your liability. Bank is like a cutthroat. They basically come one day, fucking sell all your shit, and then they'll try to bankrupt you. At least an investor is fair enough to understand and willing to share the risk. If money is gone.
Okay, so that's something I didn't think about with the running part of it. It's the fact that you have to pay back an investor within a certain amount of time.
Yeah. And let's say you got a successful, Christian. You got $5 million investment. Successful means successful in getting investment to start a company, to do a thing. For starting a company, where is the prototype? How many customers you already have, Christian? How many people are willing to pay? How many people are dying to pay for this, that I want to invest $5 million in that? That and all you have to show. Okay? And then how big is the market size in dollars? Can you say? How much money can you make? What is the biggest pie here?
Okay.
What is the size of the pie?
So just students learning Spanish. That's why I chose Spanish initially.
Okay.
Just students learning Spanish. Oh God, can I even find this article? I'm not sure. There's a statistic about how many students are learning Spanish or French at each time. Number. I am not hitting any of the buttons. Number of students. What the hell?
Dude, you press Control S, man. That's why it's like cancel. Close it.
In US. And the reason I'm choosing US is just to have a marker. It's okay, this is is one of them. No, it was another. But statistic I can work. Why not? So, the reason is because in the US,
you should always search growing Spanish learning group. Something it will automatically tell you the relevant thing. But yeah.
Okay. This is just the amount of people, kind of students, just students. But this is only Spanish people. Whatever. And it's mostly personal experience, and also these kind of statistics, and the fact that Spanish is the number one that people want to learn, and 8 million people say you make it affordable, and you can tap into Brazil, maybe. Well, it will probably be Western world because it's online, so it's gonna be United States and then and then France and United Kingdom.
Now I'll ask you a question, okay?
The question and the answer, it would be 13 million-ish people.
Okay, that's
okay.
The available. If you do the math, it will be very sad. 13 million people, if they pay $10, not even $10, you are going to reduce the price. It will be less than $100 million. If it's less than $1 billion business, it's probably not even worth considering. But it's okay.
Yeah.
Now my question is, let's say, the fundamental question is,
and we're back.
Yeah.
There we are.
What problem are you trying to solve?
So the problem I'm trying to solve is
define the problem.
People not being able to reach fluency in a language like they want, because Duolingo does not feel.
So that's where you need to show me evidence. I think that's flawed, because Duolingo won't be successful, Preply won't be successful, Memrise, all these companies won't be successful if there is a problem. One thing, how we started this conversation is, you are passionate, you are good in languages, you are interested, very passionate about this entire language topic, okay? But you never from the start told me another student who's struggling in language because he couldn't find an app or a website to learn Spanish. Because that is not the case. You can download a million Spanish books.
Yeah.
Duolingo is free.
Duolingo is free. But the point is the same, right? All these apps are fine, but you don't reach fluency in this thing. So
But who cares about fluency? Like the highest level is the serious learner. You said serious learner is not your market, not the fucking freebies. So in the middle person, if you ask me objectively, which I can be that middle person, I will choose the free one because I don't care. If a person cares so much, probably they are doing one-on-one. If they are one-on-one, if you also provide one-on-one, how are you going to cut the cost for that poor person who is serious? One idea you can say immediately to me is to shut me up is advertising, letting ads play or something.
Yeah, then you're just like a better version of Preply though. But that means you.
But it'll be shitty. Like once ad starts popping up, 5, 4, 3, 2, skip ad.
Oh, you mean that kind of way? You just monetize through ads.
Ads.
Okay.
Those are some of the ways like you can monetize. And what are the different versions you are willing to offer? Somebody wants to learn. He wants to do only one-on-one. Somebody wants to do 3-on-3 classes.
Okay.
So,
wait. I just thought of an idea. This was maybe stupid, but I was reminded because you talked about advertisements. There's kind of different ways to do advertisements. There's on-screen video, and then there's banners, and then there's a last option, which is used a lot in games, right? Which is you get 500 coins or something, but you have to watch an ad that you can skip, but you have to watch an ad. Which means that, and those are very successful.
Yeah.
Like the rate of those are a lot better than banners.
So you found an additional revenue source to cut down the cost.
Yeah, but then what do you use the money for? What do you use the coins for? You can, this is just an idea. Shoot it down if you want.
Yeah.
You can use the coins to get discounts on your next class. So you make it cheaper than it already is, so that you can. Okay, maybe watch.
And how will the teacher make more money?
That's the thing. So you might not make. Okay. You make money through the ads, but then you make the coins. I guess not too much.
Then it will be basically useless. Guys.
Yeah.
I have 1 million guys in AliExpress. What less than a fucking 50 cents?
Yeah. So
every time I open the app, Chinese websites, you open, you won 5,000 coins, 20,000 coins, worth fucking 2 cents. Fucking, what can I buy? Nothing.
yeah. So maybe because you have to see how much you earn from the ad in order to estimate the ratio.
Yeah. So, but still, my question, right? Whatever you said as a problem statement, you need to provide proofs for it, like a solid proof, not an article written by some dumbass or it's like could be a scientific article, publication, linguistic departments of university publishing, like Spanish language people are suffering, they have no resources to learn. So you have to prove, you have to show why it's a hair on fire problem. Will I put money in you or fucking some other liver growing company in lab or something who needs like 1 million liver every year or something? I don't know. Like, why is it? Or I will try to fucking fund a plastic pollution reduction, replacing it with hemp or something. Why will I not do that? That seems more hair on fire problem. That's what your problem should be strong. If it is strong, you have to provide proof of it is a problem. It is a problem. I'm not convinced it is a problem because I think Duolingo might not serve me full fluency in Spanish, but I know I will gain so much confidence in Spanish for free. You are competing with a free thing that people are addicted to. It's a big competitor and they have no liability, no teacher, nothing. That's why I think maybe to scale your business to personalize it. That's what you literally said. Your problem can be solved with AI. Maybe not today's AI, in 2 years. In AI is going very faster. Maybe it's very biased because I'm an AI guy, but I'm just saying, dude, I'm interested in tennis and I wanted to learn about Rafael Nadal in fucking Spain or something. So I can literally create a AI Rafael Nadal who speaks Spanish can teach me Spanish. That will be so much fun. Imagine talking to dead Steve Jobs now with all his stuff. Dude, it's a very powerful tool. Maybe if you use it, for example, I'm starting to talk to ChatGPT, right?
Yeah.
It is really good. At that time, when you will be very surprised how many times it gets so well. Actually, it's only getting better. So that could be a solution where no teacher liability. You don't have to pay anybody anything. You have to just rent a model from online, put it in Microsoft Azure or AWS or something, cloud compliant, safety, security, no data breach, nothing. Server cost, everything in one pay. AI will only, better AI model comes, swap it out. You basically reduce, and no need of 3 people, 1 student and all. Every one person can ask a billion questions, it will sit and answer. In just like Rafael Nadal and tennis, like Spanish.
Yeah, but you want to have a conversation, not just a back and forth Q&A kind of thing, right?
Yeah. I mean, you can do that also. Obviously, with that, you can. You have to design a course. One other way is, what is the solution? I understand your point is having a human teacher is the best way to learn, right? So what is a better solution? Middle ground here. Not this way, not this way. Recorded courses. In that way, you lose the complete individual thing. Like, I am interested in tennis and I want to do salsa and I want to learn Spanish. That I lose, but I learn Spanish better. You get good teachers, okay?
But
record the course.
The counterpoint to that is just you can learn Spanish for free on YouTube.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was my next thing. I probably will be gone. Right? So, how are you going to make money, right? And also, one more thing. I have Duolingo. I have your app. I have Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, everything surrounding it. Why will I click your app? Even though phone is better. Even in website, I have fucking all the courses paid for. I am not opening the tab. I want to parallelly open a podcast. And how are you going to handle the distractions? Because I'm a mentor for Coursera, 9 out of 10 people who take the course drop out. Because the motivation that is there initially is not there. So who will have the motivation? Only the serious learner. The serious learner will be willing to pay, is my hunch. So pay as much as it takes, because it's going to be one-on-one session. I'm paying this much money, shut the fuck up and listen. You see, that's different story. So who is your market again? So we go in that loop again and again and again. So you'll iterate and filter and change your idea, adapt it, edit it, modify it. So it's not a bad idea. you have to make it stronger from here on. It has so many flaws, just like every idea.
Yeah. So what do you think about? Because the thing that really attracts me to most apps are streaks.
Yeah, if you copy it, it's not going to be successful. You have to come up with your own secret sauce, which is easy to say but hard to do. Even Duolingo did not know that it was a success. It just happened to become one. You see, it's not like they know, okay, this gamification is gonna work. It worked out, man. That's all. You know, like we don't know what was the backstory, right?
Yeah, because why do you have a streak? It's very low effort to kind of get.
So Duolingo has streaks. Is there any other apps that are doing that?
Link has a streak.
Yeah. So they see everybody's trying to copy that. You said Duolingo is not good enough, right? Why does Link is supposed to be that guy's serious learning fan should come, right? Why the fuck streak is there? Everybody needs motivation. Motivation is like fucking air. You stop breathing, you'll die. You constantly need it.
Yeah, even the serious ones need a streak to keep.
Yeah, everybody needs some motivation to fucking open that shit again instead of YouTube or something.
Yeah. So you need but the reason you have a streak is to motivate / gamify it. You see?
Sure.
So it's a cheap way to motivate.
Not a cheap way, it's a hard way. How many people have gamified successfully? Nobody other than Duolingo. It's so hard to do.
Yeah, but it's a cheap thing to implement relatively. Like Snapchat streaks. They didn't have to do that. But they got
Is it successful?
Yeah, it's really successful.
Okay.
I remember my brother being up at 2 a.m. just to send streaks to people back and forth. It's very stupid that people have like 1,000-day streaks or 600-day streaks. Like several years. They don't talk to each other, but they will have a streak. Because you have to talk to somebody to have a streak. Which is... It shows that it works. Right? Yeah. It just shows that it works. If people want to...
That's how they keep the traction, right? Now I'll ask you the question. How are you going to retain the people, the teachers, the students? How are you going to hold your audience? How are you going to lock them? Just like Apple. You buy a tablet, you cannot just buy a tablet. You have to buy each pencil. You cannot just buy each pencil. You have to buy each keyboard. You have to buy each case, fucking charger. You cannot just have a tablet. You need iCloud to sync. You just cannot do that without having iPhone. How do you lock people in?
How to trap people.
Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah. I mean, like we have done 1 hour. I think we can skip here 1 hour 12 minutes, and we can continue this again in a further parts. I would say, right? So now we can wrap up. It's a long.
And we also haven't done you at all.
Yeah. So which we can do again like tomorrow.
Yeah. And I think this kind of content is definitely an endless thing to look into.
Endless thing, but you'll have great value though. You know all these questions your investors will ask. Your people who are gonna fund you is gonna ask. All these horrendous questions they will ask more in a brutal way. If you have no answer, the one thing you cannot say to an investor is I haven't figured that out yet. You know.
Gun you down.
Yeah, he's basically saying that, dude, just go.
Yeah.
Why you are not getting anything?
I see what you mean, but and the reason we're doing this is because it's good to grill each other, but it's also part of the course book, so that's why we recommend the $1 Million Weekend by Noah.
Yeah, we can also do those exercises as well, like if you're starting or what? That's better. Where are you in the book? Half an hour, 40 minutes.
The Noah Kagan. I'm like over. Wait, let me check.
Because the moment he starts giving the task, maybe you focus on it seriously, and we both will do.
No, I'm over halfway. I listened to it.
Halfway of the entire book.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so I started early, right?
Okay, is there Noah Kagan the task or something where we can pick the thing?
No, that's the problem. Maybe it doesn't.
I think it might be there. I don't know. OKDork.com or something.
Either OKDork or
maybe the book name only.
Physical book. Yeah. Physical book might have. I don't know.
Yeah, we will see.
We just have the audio book. So
my girlfriend said after reading that, she preferred to me buying her that book than Outlive.
Aww. That sucks.
Yeah, but still it just shows, it's more practical. It's like a boom, boom, boom. It's just 4 hours. Next,
It's very much rapid fire, yeah. So it's hard to keep up.
But it's very hard also. But it took him 40 years to figure it out somewhat.
That's true. and he failed a lot along the way. 40 years, like you said.
Yeah.
It's extreme.
Okay, guys.
Okay, so we'll wrap it up now.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Then we'll cover him.
Yeah.
His
Next
topic.
guy will shoot me down.
Yeah, and then also your other topics about life in general.
Yeah, I think that's what we are going to do. But yeah, it's going to be a surprise though. We'll see. It's about life. Okay, see you.
Bye.